Is that Ben Shapiro in drag?
No, come on.
Okay, and then I'm like,
it basically involved some cultural changes. The Daily Wire didn't like the live action remake.
And the reality is, Snow White has to learn a lot of lessons about coming into her own power before she can come into power over a kingdom.
Disney is getting ready to begin the last phase of their marketing campaign.
Daily Wire apparently in the movie-making business now because someone needed to counter, they felt, the, quote, unacceptable wokeness in Hollywood that threatens bare existence of America.
And I saw myself on screen and I just wanted to throw up. I was so happy about it.
Remember those beloved fairy tales from our childhood? Those enchanting stories that transported us to magical realms and ignited our wildest dreams? Well, one tale that etched itself into our hearts is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Who could ever forget that timeless narrative? The enchanting maiden with skin as pure as snow, the mischievous apple that stirred all the commotion, and of course that legendary kiss that changed everything. It's a classic, no doubt about it. But hold on to your seats because here's the scoop. There's a fresh live-action Snow White film on the horizon. Yes, you heard that correctly. However, don't get too comfy in your fairy tale bubble just yet, because this may not be the Snow White we all grew up adoring. The grapevine is abuzz with rumors that this upcoming 2024 release might introduce some significant twists and turns. Now here's the real shocker. Rachel Zegler, the rising star who had the world buzzing, all set to take on the iconic role of our modern Snow White? Well, it seems like her involvement might be up in the air. What's the story here? Why would Rachel step away from such a monumental role? Get ready because we're about to unravel this enigma and spill all the tea. So grab your popcorn, folks, and let's dive right in. During Disney's 2022 D23 Expo, a brief 30-second teaser gave viewers a glimpse of what to expect.
Overwhelming. You don't have enough moments to really realize what you're doing and how much it's going to impact so many other people. And then just seeing the logo, I was like, oh, so lots of tears.
Among the flashes was a shot of Rachel Zegler as Snow White, about to take the fateful bite of the poisoned apple. Rachel Zegler leads the cast, while Gal Gadot takes on the role of the evil queen. The remake of Disney's 1937 animated classic has stirred up quite a debate on TikTok. The film, set to hit theaters in March 2024, stars Rachel Zegler, known for her roles in Steven Spielberg's West Side Story and the upcoming Hunger Games prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Notably, some traditionalists are unhappy with the casting of Zegler, who is of Colombian and Polish descent, as the iconic Disney princess known for her fairness. However, the controversy has expanded beyond the usual critics. Various individuals from different backgrounds, both politically and racially, have taken issue with Zegler. This stems from resurfaced interviews in which she discusses the progressive changes featured in the new Snow White adaptation. Several months later, Zegler dropped a tidbit about her approach to the character. In an interview with, Zegler hinted that her portrayal of Snow White would be notably stronger than the original. Well, in an interview, Gal Gadot disclosed that she had to dust off her singing skills for the audition, something she hadn't done in a while. She said, "They needed to make sure I can sing because this is a musical. So for a month, I was working on the song and then I auditioned." Gal Gadot also shared with Vogue Hong Kong that she had to alter her voice to match the character. Then, in January 2022, the news broke that Andrew Burnap, renowned for his theater work and roles in We Crashed and Under the Banner of Heaven, would be taking on a significant male role. However, his character's name is Jonathan, and it's uncertain if he fits the traditional prince mold. After Rachel Zegler was chosen for the lead role, some folks weren't happy because she's of Latin descent, and Snow White is typically described as having very fair skin. In a talk with Andrew Garfield for Variety's Actors on Actors series in January 2022, Zegler acknowledged this resistance and expressed her hope to change the idea of who can play certain roles. She said, "I never thought I'd get this chance. Snow White isn't usually portrayed by someone like me, even though she's beloved in Spanish-speaking countries." Initially, Aaron Cressida Wilson was set to write the screenplay. However, in November 2021, it was revealed that Greta Gerwig would co-write the script. In September 2022, during the 2022 D23 Expo presentation, the film's release in 2024 was confirmed, with the official release date set for March 22nd, 2024. Photos from the movie's set in July 2023 indicated that the film would feature a diverse group of individuals instead of the original 7 dwarfs, a move driven by Disney's commitment to inclusivity. Nevertheless, this choice sparked criticism as it omitted actors from the dwarfism community. In 2022, Peter Dinklage, known for Game of Thrones, criticized the traditional story of Snow White with 7 dwarfs living in a cave, prompting Disney to announce a different approach. They expressed their intent not to feature 7 dwarfs, as in the original tale, and noted their consultation with members of the dwarfism community to avoid reinforcing stereotypes. Since her casting announcement in June 2021, Rachel Zegler has been open about her disinterest in the original 1937 Disney princess film. In a December 2022 interview with Entertainment Weekly, she mentioned watching the animated film only once before preparing for her role and confessed to not enjoying it. During a September 2022 interview, Zegler elaborated on her intention to bring a modern perspective to the character. She emphasized that the story was no longer confined to the era of 1937. Gal Gadot said Snow White would not rely on a prince for salvation. Zegler added that the character's focus had shifted from dreaming of true love to aspiring to be a fearless, fair, brave, and true leader, as her late father had encouraged. Disney is currently facing many challenges, but one unusual one comes from creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone of South Park fame. They've got an exclusive event set to air on October 27th, and it's aiming for Disney and the Hollywood studios' trend of race and gender swapping in their franchises. This has put Disney on the defensive. Parker and Stone are known for their fearless humor and equal opportunity mockery, taking on both sides of the ideological spectrum. However, this event makes Disney a bit uncomfortable because it directly satirizes their recent practices, especially concerning characters like Snow White, The Little Mermaid, and Tinker Bell. The conflict between Disney and South Park Studios has been brewing behind the scenes for weeks, and it's become more heated since the teaser for this event dropped. Disney isn't thrilled with the prospect of South Park making fun of their business model, particularly their slew of live-action remakes that often involve character swaps. Hercules, Sword in the Stone, Beauty and the Beast, Alice in Wonderland, and more are on the docket for these reimaginings, with potential character swaps like Merlin in Sword in the Stone. This situation has prompted Disney to request a direct meeting with Comedy Central, South Park Studios, and the creators, Trey Parker and Matt Stone. It's a messy situation and could make this upcoming South Park event one of the most controversial yet, given Disney's displeasure with their past jabs at Mickey Mouse and the likelihood of further mockery of Disney's practices. In a broader context, this situation underscores Disney's expanding control over various franchises and the potential for changes that may not sit well with fans. Well, Disney, if they want to make more woke films that flop at the box office, they can go right ahead. But maybe they could try an original idea instead of messing with a beloved classic. It's a bit odd to cast an actress who doesn't seem to like the plot, storyline, or even the character she's playing. The drama doesn't stop there. Rachel is talking about making Snow White a powerful leader, changing up the character dynamics. Some die-hard Disney fans are unhappy, believing this change is about Rachel making it all about her rather than genuine girl power. Tommy Lahren criticized Rachel's approach, calling her insufferable and stating that she seems to be biting the hand that feeds her. She questioned why Disney would pick an actress who doesn't even like the original story. Rachel, on her part, has responded by posting throwback pictures of herself dressed as Disney princesses, including Snow White, saying that every kid should believe they can be a princess. But here's the twist. There are rumors that Rachel's spot in the Snow White sequel is in jeopardy. Some Disney bigwigs are contemplating whether to keep her in the next movie. They're awaiting fan reactions to the new Snow White trailer before making any decisions. So, it's a battle between those who support Rachel's vision and those who prefer sticking to the classic. Disney, as always, is in the storytelling hot seat. They're considering a fresh take on Snow White or returning to the drawing board to give fans the classic they crave. That's a wrap-up of our discussion. So, what do you think? Is Rachel the Snow White for this generation, or should Disney rethink their strategy? Will you be grabbing a ticket for the movie? We would love to hear your thoughts. So feel free to share your comments below. Your insights and opinions mean a lot.